My name is Dumai, and I'm here to share to you my experience on mindfulness, meditation, and my growth on emotional intelligence. And for this one, I'd like to share my experience on Vipassana. I've already made 2 videos about it, and it was such a profound experience that I decided to cut it down to categories. And for this category, I'd like to share the habits of my brain that I noticed while doing the Vipassana in the center. So the first one is my relationship to pain. If you're familiar with Vipassana already, you know that we practice 3 techniques: Anapana, which is the breathing technique, Vipassana, which is the body scan, and the third one is Metta, which is loving kindness. For the first 3 days, we practiced breathing technique. And for us to be able to focus on our breathing, we were allowed to move our body whenever we felt something uncomfortable. So if I feel something uncomfortable in my shoulder, I could shake it off like that just so I could focus on my breathing. And the second technique is Vipassana. This is done during the 4th day onwards. So in Vipassana, unlike in Anapana, you're advised not to move or to keep minimal movements on your body. So when you feel pain on your knees, you're advised to feel through the pain and not stretch your leg just so you feel comfortable. And you do feel a lot of pain while sitting. They manifest themselves while you investigate what is inside of your mind, what's in your unconscious. And the difference though in pain that I noticed was when we were doing Anapana and we had a break, I would go out, take a walk, stretch, do some yoga, or even lie down just to, relieve myself of the pain from sitting down. I see a lot of my co-meditators do that too, except for the bhikkhunis or the monks. They they were constantly in a meditative state, and they were constantly very calm and still while sitting in the meditation and outside. And I thought, oh, that is so cool. I hope I could be that. But they're probably very trained well already, so they don't need to stretch themselves whenever there's the break time. That was for the first 3 days, the Anapana technique. In the Vipassana, it's a different experience of pain. I felt the pain in my body and don't attempt to comfort myself whenever it arises while I was sitting down. But whenever we finish the meditation and we have a break, I feel no pain at all. I feel so comfortable. I don't feel the need to walk or to stretch. I was so relaxed because I've already dealt with the pain inside of me while sitting down. So that was so good. That was a different approach to dealing with pain. So yeah, I kind of believe right now that, you need to process the pain inside of you before you can be calm and still when you deal with the outside world. And that's why I keep on meditating and to be able to be a source of calm and stillness to my students rather than projecting my chaos inside of me. That's one experience of pain. And the second one I'd like to tell you is about period pain. Nobody wants to go on a holiday, on a vacation, and have their period, you know? And that was what I was worried about before going to the meditation course because I knew that I would have my period right after, if it was on schedule, right after the meditation. But it arrived 4 days earlier, and I was on my period on my 6th day to the 9th day. And I am that person who has period pains. It could be light pain, dull pain, or heavy pain. Sometimes it depends every time I have my period. And when I was in the meditation course, I did not experience any pain. It was the most comfortable period I've had in my 30s, or maybe even for 15 years. Because when I was a teenager, I did not have period pains. It was just a normal day with me. But once I started working, that was when I experienced some pains in my body during period. And that's another experience of pain relief that I had while doing the meditation. And I thought, ooh, I should keep on this. So I don't have to experience period pains anymore. Yeah, so that's the first one, pain. And the second one is on my food intake. Food was good while I was in the nunnery, while I was in the center. And of course, they serve vegetarian meal, but very good vegetarian meal. And the first 3 days, I was just enjoying my food. And so on the fourth day or the fifth day, I started craving less food because on the fourth day, I was in trance. My pain was transformed into tingling vibrations and I felt just like floating. And right after that experience, I felt like I was in love. And you know, when you're in love, you don't have a need for food. And that was what I was feeling right then and there. I don't need anything. I have this really good feeling inside of me. And so, yes, I wasn't even thinking about it, but I was taking lesser portions of food, and I wasn't the first one in the queue or even the middle. I wait for everybody to be able to take their food before I'd go pick up mine because, you know, I was just in the state of mind that I had no need for food. So that was good. I craved less food. And the third change that I noticed is my mindful movement. I've been to Japan 4 times, and you know, when you're in a foreign place, you try to blend in. And you know how they act in Japan. They're very gracious, they're very delicate, the way they move. And I tried to blend in when I was there and tried to be, more mindful of my movement. But this time, actually, it happens that when you are in a meditative state of mind, you're naturally more careful. And so there were also monks or nuns, they're called bhikkhunis, who took the course with me, and I was observing them without trying to be like them. They were very graceful, they are very still, they are very calm with their movement. And it was just so nice to watch them like that. And I wasn't trying to act like them. But I guess that is what happens when you're in a meditative state of mind. Your movements become more mindful because your senses are more open. That was the first time that I was mindful of the feeling of the texture of my sandals or even the sound of my footstep while I was walking on the stairs. And I was just moving so carefully, not slow, but maybe slower, but really just a feeling lots of the things that are happening around me and within me. And I think that if you are in that kind of state, you cause less accident. So you consider all of these things around you before you act. I could hear the sound better. I was more attuned to the texture of my beddings, and everything was just so crisp and so vivid to me. Yeah, so those are the three things that I noticed has changed in me from that time. My experience on pain, I had lesser food cravings, and I moving more mindful these days. And I'd like to carry that on while doing my work, while dealing with colleagues, while interacting with my students. Yeah, that is why I'm keeping up with my meditation, and I'll update you about it in a month. about the changes or my experience that I noticed while doing the practice. And I hope one day you'll get your chance to be able to sit down with your mind and examine it, how it works. I'll see you in Vipassana. Have a good day.